This is K9WLW. I have a quick video. I had a viewer inquire about the difference between DV mode and DR mode, and specifically on what that is, and I figured the best way to answer that question rather than in a text format was with a demonstration. Okay, the main difference between DV and DR mode is the four main pieces of information that are arranged in your DStar transmission. You will see here that I have this radio in digital voice. Actually, it's in a duplex mode. It's probably because I'm in a part of the band. Well, let me go to a simplex area here, so that way I'm not interfering with any repeaters or anything. Okay, here's a national simplex frequency.
46.00.
Okay, so I'm in the VFO mode here. And the VFO mode can also be saved to a memory channel, as if this was configured. When you press and hold the CS button, which is this right rocker right here, press it and hold it until it beeps. You get a display that shows you what you have in your UR call field, in your R1, your R2, and your My call field. Let me fix this. Okay, I corrected it to CQ. There we go. Okay. Let's say you were wanting to QSO with a friend of yours who also had a DStar radio, and you decided to choose a simplex frequency. You're not using any kind of repeater. You're not using any kind of network that will put you over the internet. You're just simply transmitting the old-fashioned my radio to your radio, the old RF method that we all grew up knowing. Okay? The R1 and the R2 fields are blank in this situation. This is merely a simplex mode. When I key up, my other station will see my call sign and my ID 51 that I have in my call field when I transmit. And I'm just sending the CQ, which is your normal QSO mode. There is no need for any R1 or R2 information. Okay? So all you have in the DV digital voice simplex mode, it's designed more for simplex radio to radio QSOs, I guess would be the way to word this. All you need is your call sign, and normally you just use CQ. You could have anything in the UR field if it's radio to radio. You're not connecting to any network, so it's not going to link you anywhere, even if you have improper codes there, but it's just general protocol. When in QSO, always have CQ in the UR field. R1 and R2 are not used in simplex because there's no repeater involved. So there's no modules, no call signs, no anything. Now, let's go to the DR mode. I hope that explains DV. It's predominantly designed for just straight radio to radio simplex and digital voice, or DStar. Now, if I switch the mode to FM and I press the CS, it won't show anything at all. It just beeps because it's no longer digital. So it's not going to send your call sign out or anything because, again, there's no data being sent in an analog signal. Same if I go to FM narrow. That's just another version of an analog mode. Nothing there. I go back to DV. Then it does have my call and my call sign and the ID 51, which I put in there, and the CQ. Now, getting to DR mode and the importance of DR mode and why I recommend DR mode for hotspots. Normally to switch to DR mode when you're in VFO mode, or if you're in the regular memory channel mode, like so. Sorry, I'm getting a little birdie there. Oh my goodness, this is GMRS or FRS radios. Little kids talking on FRS or maybe GMRS. Okay, sorry about that diversion. I don't normally hear traffic there. All right, I'll go.
4.70 megahertz.
Okay, this is in my memory channel mode, and almost all my memories are usually FM. Well, to switch to DR mode, whether you're in the VFO or whether you're in the memory recall mode here, is to press and hold the DR. And there's the famous to and from information. Okay. If I were to press and hold CS here, you'll notice R1 and R2 are no longer blank. Right now I have the UR, which is CQ, 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 which is what you normally have for QSO. The R1, I have my call sign, which is for my hotspot. And for this particular hotspot, I use the D module because it's my second hotspot. In order to get my transmissions over the internet from the hotspot, it's my call sign again, followed by the G module for gateway. That way all the traffic coming out of my radio will go out over the gateway, and I can be heard on reflectors and what's not. And of course, my call sign is sent as well, so all the other operators on the reflector or whatnot can see my call sign. So it has R1 and R2 information. Now, let's say I'm not using a hotspot and I want to go to a local repeater. I highlight the from field with the down rocker, quick press, enter, near repeater digital voice, enter, searching. Okay, here's my other hotspot. And just to show you that has K9WLWB. Okay, same call sign, but I use B as the module for that hotspot. That way I have two separate call signs that can be entered into the same radio with different frequencies and whatnot. But anyway, getting back to an actual repeater. Closest one to me is the Tampa repeater, known as W4RNT. Okay, that's been preloaded with the software that was loaded into the radio when I bought it. And good news is the information for Tampa is correct. Well, if I go to CS here and press and hold, you'll see there's my CQ, CQ, CQ. You'll see in R1 I have W4RNT, followed by the B, because it's a Bravo module repeater. R2, W4RNT with the G. That's what allows me to get over the gateway. Okay, so when I'm in the DR mode and I go to the To Select menu by highlighting 2 and hitting Enter, notice I have many more options. I've got local CQ, gateway CQ, your call sign, reflector, RX history, TX history, direct input where you can manually put in a command, or a direct input to call sign route to a repeater. We spend probably almost all of our time in this reflector area where you can do link to reflector, direct input where you can dial and so forth, or you can get the last 5. You might occasionally go to unlink reflector, which is the U. You might occasionally do an echo test just to see how your audio is. These are all under the reflector. And then, of course, the special commands we store in the your call sign and so forth, which I have another video to demonstrate. In order to talk over the internet gateway through a DStar repeater, or if you have a Pi-Star-based hotspot, you must use the DR mode so that you have the call sign information in R1 and R2 with the module of the repeater or the Pi-Star hotspot that you're using, followed by the R2 of the gateway. Now, another problem, and this is something that happens a lot with people using the DR mode, is they accidentally, instead of using use reflector CQ, 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 they sometimes by accident drop in local CQ. Okay, there's a difference. If you press and hold the CS, you'll see the R1 W4RNT Bravo. In this mode, I would be able to hold local QSOs on the repeater, but you'll notice the R2 says not used in local CQ. So if the repeater was hooked up to, say, a reflector, and I keyed up with this setting, I would hear the traffic on the reflector coming through the repeater, but nobody would hear me on the reflector. Only the local repeater would hear me. So it prevents my signal from getting out over the internet gateway. That pretty much explains the difference between DV and DR mode. I hope that answered your question. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me with a comment below, or feel free to email me at cq2meters@yahoo.com.